Hi, I'm Rain Stickland, and today I'm going to talk about how to edit your novel if you can't afford an editor. Follow me. Okay, the first thing I have to tell you is you already have to be at a certain level of competence with English if you're going to do this, okay? You can't suddenly edit a novel if your English skills aren't good, okay? So, with that caveat, if you feel that you understand grammar, punctuation, spelling well enough that you can do this, this is how. All right? And I also say this with the caveat that really, if you can afford an editor, you should try to pay somebody to edit your book. There are many reasons for this, okay? And it isn't just making sure the typos aren't there. It may be that the content needs to be changed a little bit, and they can sometimes be really helpful with that. So, that being said, if you still want to go ahead with this, here's how. Okay, the first thing you do is you have to take time away from it. I tell you, you will see what you expect to see. This is something I'm probably going to say more than once. Well, I'm going to say it again now. You will see what you expect to see. All right? And you will miss what you don't expect to be there. Okay? If that makes any sense. Things like of or the. These words are words that we tend to skip over when we're reading. Even when we're trying to read very carefully, a lot of words just get zipped right over, okay? So part of the problem is trying to trick the human brain into not knowing what's there and not expecting anything. So you want to forget what you wrote, and in order to do that, you take time away. So once you've done that, and everybody's going to be different how much time they need. Chances are, if you just finish the end of your book, if you write sequentially, then the first part of your book, you may not remember all the details of it. So you've kind of already stepped away from it anyway. But in reality, you're supposed to be keeping those details in mind as you're writing your entire book, so you haven't really stepped away. So, all that being said, take time away as much as you possibly can. And you know, if it's a day, that's, you know, better than nothing. But seriously, you got to try to take at least a week or two away from something you've written and reread it. Trust me, you'll find a lot. And then you'll go, wait a minute, I forgot to put in the part about this, and I forgot to put in a part about that, and you'll see a lot, okay? So that is one of your biggest helps. But number 2, use beta readers. And a beta reader is somebody who is basically willing to read for free, usually. Quite often it's a writing circle, so that you can all, you know, benefit from one another's opinion. But use beta readers that are interested in your genre, that are very familiar with your genre, and who you trust with, you know, like that, you know, that they're not going to be pointing out wrong errors to you, if that makes any sense. Things that are actually right, but they think they're wrong. That sort of thing. You want somebody who's a good reader reading your book, but somebody who can be objective, if possible. And that's not an easy thing to find, especially if it's in amongst your immediate friends and family. And of course, your immediate friends and family won't all be great readers probably, and won't be like extremely well versed in your genre specifically. So that again may be a problem. And the other thing about getting people to read your book that are interested in that genre is because they like it. Okay? And if you try to make somebody read something that they don't like, they're not going to be that flattering about it, or they're just going to say, oh, it was great, and move on. And that's not something you want. You want real, solid criticism. And you want it from people who know what they're talking about. That's very important. One of the reasons I say this about making sure you pick the right people for the right genre is because you'll have to do the same thing with an editor and an agent if you decide to go that route, for very good reason. If somebody doesn't like a genre, they're not going to have an objective viewpoint about it. I mean, liking a genre means that you will be favorable toward it, but then anybody who likes that genre is going to be favorable toward it in that way. And that's why you want editors who like that genre reading and getting those manuscripts, okay? So, but if they don't like that kind, they're just going to throw it in the garbage. And your friends might do the same thing and then just tell you it's great. Sorry. Just people. Okay, so number 3, researching quotes and idioms. Very important, okay? It's fine if one of your characters misattributes a quote, because your characters can be ignorant and lacking in knowledge. You, as the author, should in some ways be kind of omniscient, frankly. So you have to try not to make those mistakes. You don't want to be saying that Einstein said this or Darwin said that if they didn't actually say it. There have been buildings in the United States that have had to remove quotes that have been so commonly misattributed. One of them famously to Darwin. So you have to be very careful of that. If you misattribute a quote, you're the one who looks ignorant to people who actually know who said it or who didn't say it. And so you're better off researching it. Idioms, kind of the same thing. There are a lot that people mistake. I've known people to say, that's a tough road to hoe. No, row to hoe. It's row. You're talking about gardening. And, or they'll say they're honing in on something. No, it's homing, a homing beacon. Home. You think of your house. Home. That's what it's supposed to be. There was another one I had in my mind, but anyway, that can be very important. Again, if your characters say it, it can be, a conversation point where somebody else says, oh, so-and-so didn't say that, or that's not how you say it. They can be, picky about grammar if you want. And, but you can't make those mistakes because someone is going to know you made those mistakes. Anyway, number 4, have it read to you by your computer. There is a program that I use called Natural Readers or something. I'm trying to... But anyway, just look for a program. I'll link it in the description. That's what I'll do. I can't figure out what it is right now. Anyway, I'll link it. I'm not affiliated. There's a free version, and I've been using the free version. I really do need to buy it because it is a good program. It's helped me enormously. And the reason I say this is because even the best attempt at reading carefully, you will miss things like of the things that maybe don't belong or are missing, but you don't look for them anyway because your brain just kind of skips over them. All right? Even with the best intentions, people will miss that. So having your computer read exactly what's there may make a huge difference. I have found so many mistakes that way. I edit my book. My daughter edits my book. Then I have the computer edit my book. And then I edit it again. So very important. It makes a big difference, okay? And if I make any changes, I take them and have the computer reread it to me. That's it. Okay, it sounds wonky when it's reading. It is not the best, but you do adjust to it, and you can adjust the speed, and you can have a male voice or a female voice, that kind of thing. And that's with the free version. So there's no reason not to use it. It is a lifesaver, let me tell you. All right, now, number 5, and this is kind of going against technology. Remember the limitations of grammar and spell check software, okay? Because I can't tell you the number of times I've caught mistakes made by the various programs. And if they're making mistakes, you can't rely on them. You have to go, is that really wrong? And when you're looking at it, if it seems weird to you, check it, because we don't all necessarily keep every grammar rule in our heads at every given moment. So you might not remember what the rule is. Look it up. Okay, there are some very good sites for this. And the thing is, they're articles written by humans, okay? And then they can explain the subtleties and the exceptions when you're talking about grammatical rules. Okay? When you're talking about a program, it's just this thing that they don't program subtleties very well. I'll say that. Okay? And let me tell you, there isn't a spell checker in the world that seems to understand Canadian English. There's like millions of us that write and speak it, but apparently we're invisible. Anyway, so remember the limitations of this software, which is why you want human eyes looking at all this stuff, double checking and questioning everything that looks off. Number 6, conversations have to be natural. Okay. You have to be able to speak them aloud in a way that sounds believable. Like if you were that person talking to that other person, would you really sound that way? And why and why not? What do you have to change in the sentence structure to make it that, that person's voice? Because every character has to have their own voice. You're going to have people that are educated, and you're going to have people that aren't educated. You're going to have children. You're going to have adults. You're going to have people who don't speak English as their first language, perhaps. All of these things are going to have to be taken into account when you do your dialogue. Okay, so I think that about covers it. Take time away so you've got a fresh perspective. Use beta readers because they'll probably catch things that you miss, especially since you've read it a billion times and you forget what you've taken out and put in sometimes. Yeah. Okay. And research all quotes and idioms so that you sound right, but not necessarily your characters. And have it read to you electronically so it reads exactly what's there and not what you think is there. Remember the limitations of grammar and spell check software because they're not always right. And number 6, conversations need to sound natural. And if I think of any more, I'll make another video. But that's it for today. If you like this kind of content and are looking for more, I have other videos. Please subscribe. You can find my author link in the description. It just takes you to my author page so that you can see, yes, I really am a writer. And also I have a link for my Zazzle store if you like t-shirts with a weird sense of humor on them. But other than that, I hope you all have a great week, and I will talk to you later.